Hello, my name is Dr. Dale Caldwell. I'm the Executive Director of the Rothman Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship and a professor at Fairleigh Dickinson University. You've reached section 4 of my Entrepreneurial Mindset lecture, and we're going to focus on implementing the E-mindset to follow up on what we've talked about. So why is the entrepreneurial mindset important? Well, it's important because historically, this idea of control leadership, this incremental leadership control, the command and control, that there was a boss that whenever the boss said jump, people would say how high. Well, the world's changed. We've become much more diverse, and we focused on people more. And so this idea of command and control is really dying. And we really need to influence folks, which is one of the reasons that I talked about influence. And so this entrepreneurial leadership influence. And so this whole E-mindset is really about influencing other people and to become the best leader possible utilizing the E-mindset. So one of the things about this is really what I call entrepreneurial empathy. That an empathy is understanding others' feelings, experiences, and influences. Is that empathy is one of the most important business skills because you really need to understand the people that you're interacting with, the people that you're selling your products to, etc. Unfortunately, a lot of organizations have what I call ineffective empathy, where they understand others' feelings, but they're implementing solutions to challenges that are beneficial to them, not to the group that they're trying to sell to. So their sales and their programming is not as effective as it would be otherwise. Yet effective empathy is understanding others' feelings and implementing solutions and challenges that are mutually beneficial. And so this is a mindset change. And so the entrepreneurial mindset, people with the entrepreneurial mindset really understand this and are able to be successful because they understand how important this is. So one of the things that is important to see is the power of effective empathy. And so many of us know the golden rule to treat others the way that you would be treated. And so if we use the music analogy that I talked about, what that means is if my favorite music is Earth, Wind, and Fire or Kool and the Gang, that means that I'm going to play that music for everybody I work with because I'm going to treat others the way that I want to be treated. The trouble with that is they may not like Earth, Wind, and Fire or Kool and the Gang. So instead, what we need to do as leaders, as people with the entrepreneurial mindset, is to treat others the way that they would like to be. Is to play the music that they are interested in. That way you'll get them to be more productive, more effective workers to buy into your leadership. So again, those with the entrepreneurial mindset need to really understand that way of thinking. So E-mindset leaders passionately seek new opportunities. They're always looking for ways that with a calculated risk, they can be successful. They pursue opportunities with tremendous discipline. They're not reckless. They really strategically look at, okay, what I want to pursue this opportunity. How do I do that in a disciplined way? They focus only on the best opportunities. They really look at the opportunities and where they can manage their risk. They don't just do something because it looks like it'll be successful. They really think through the process. They place priority on adaptive execution, meaning that they're flexible. So sometimes the plans that they lay out may have to change because of society. Again, we're living in a time when you have the pandemic, when you have the protests. They're changing the way business works every day. So it's important for those businesses who want to be successful have to have adaptive execution. They need to be able to change on a dime. And the person with the leader with the entrepreneurial mindset is able to do that. And finally, they use empathy to engage everyone on their team. They need to understand everyone's different music. And so by utilizing that, they can really inspire people to have a more productive and effective team. So one of the things we talked about influence is that leaders with the entrepreneurial mindset are aware of their own influences. We talked about that in the last session. They understand their inner circle, their social circle, their community circle, and their global circle. But why empathy is important is that, and it's hard to empathize with others until you empathize with yourself, until you understand those circles around you, those influence circles around you. Because again, their employees are products of their influence. So the leaders, the effective leaders of the entrepreneurial mindset understand the circles around each of their employees. They understand their influences and they know how to really inspire them to be all they can be. But they also understand that with their customers. the fact that their customers are surrounded by influences. And so if they're able to do that, they can sell that much more to the customers because they're meeting the customers where they are. Again, this idea of empathy is so important. So one of the things that folks with the entrepreneurial mindset are able to do is they have a process by which they assess value, and they utilize these three circles. And so they're asking these questions. Do customers want this? Do customers really want this product? 2, can we do this? The customers may want this product, but can we make it? Can we actually do this? And the third question is, should we do this? Does this make sense with our business plan? Does it make sense with our the amount of investment required? And if the answers to each of these things is yes, then that's the most valuable option, right? The consent where the circles meet, where it's concentric. And so that's the process by which folks with the entrepreneurial mindset really begin to think. So how do you implement the EMindset? And that's really, we've gone through the process of really understanding who we are and how to use influence and what the EMindset is. So that there are 5 elements in really that really define someone with the entrepreneurial mindset. 1, they have decisiveness. They're really decisive, and we're going to talk about what does that really mean. They have confidence. They have accountability. They have resilience, and they have humility. So let's look at each of those and really talk about how do we do this. So EMindset Decisiveness, they identify a complex problem or challenge that they have to make a decision about. So they begin looking at the problem. Then they say they break that problem down into its component parts, because sometimes problems seem to be so big and overwhelming. But people who have the entrepreneurial mindset, who are great and analytical, they're able to break the problem down into its component parts. Then they analyze all available data about these component parts and really come up with a solution. And they make a decisive decision on the best way to move forward and implement the action that they recommend. So it's important, if you have this decisiveness, the entrepreneurial mindset, to really follow this process. Now, confidence is the next level. And so they become comfortable being uncomfortable. It's something I learned when I was in consulting at Deloitte Consulting, is you become comfortable being uncomfortable. You're thrown into a project not knowing anything about it, but you know how to figure out how to do that. And so folks with the entrepreneurial mindset become comfortable being uncomfortable. They do the research necessary to increase their confidence. So they don't just guess at it. They find what data will support that. And once they get the data they need, then they become that much more confident. They develop a willingness to take a chance, that they really, as we talked about, take calculated risks. And they demonstrate confidence, not arrogance. That there's a big difference. So many people are arrogant. They think they're the best thing since sliced bread, as they used to say. But the folks who are confident, I'm confident because the data makes me confident. I'm not confident because I think I'm better than anybody. And that's an important aspect of confidence for those with the entrepreneurial mindset. Accountability is the next piece. They accept blame for the things that they do wrong. And so if you're looking to do this, you have to accept blame for the things that you do wrong. One of the problems in society now is that people are shifting blame. People don't want to accept blame for things. They want to say, well, so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. But the key is to accept blame for the things that you do wrong. Take responsibility for everything that happens on the project team you're leading. So if you're leading a project team, don't blame Joe because he didn't do something. Take responsibility. As the leader, I did that. People with the entrepreneurial mindset are willing to do that. And you'd be surprised how people respect those that take responsibility, especially if it's for something that they know they didn't do. Recognize that you're accountable for everything that happens in your business. If you have a business, you can't just blame and say, well, Sally did this thing wrong. It's important to know that you're accountable for that business and never make excuses. Say, I messed up. I did that, or my team didn't do what it should do. I'm the leader of the team. I take responsibility. So that accountability is so critical. Then resilience. And this is really, really key, but be willing to make mistakes and deal with the problems immediately. And it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. But you have to develop the ability to accept and bounce back from failure. Everybody's going to fail, before you're successful. And so often People say the measure of real success is people who can deal with the inevitable failure and rise above it. Understand that mistakes and failure are a necessary step on the way to achieve your goals. That you will achieve your goals at a much higher level if you go through some things that don't work. And then learn how to make small corrections to mistakes as you travel the road to success. That instead of waiting for a big problem, try to make adjustments along the way. And this will help you have resilience. They have the ability to deal with problems, the ability to deal with curveballs that confuse you. So resilience is a real key thing, and you'd be amazed how many people who really don't have resilience. And then finally, humility. It's important to remain free from pride and arrogance and go out of your way to help others. It's important to realize that we're in this life not alone, and that there are people who are struggling, and that no matter how much money you make or how successful you are, you still have a responsibility to help those, even more of a responsibility to help those who are struggling. Also understand that no matter what you accomplish, there are many people who help you succeed. This idea of the self-made person is ridiculous. There are people who laid the groundwork, who supported you, who mentored you along the way. Remember those folks and always thank them. If they're still alive, thank them. Seek out and accept coaching and advice. You don't have all the answers. It's important, even if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, to really get the best minds available to give you a coach and guide you and give you advice. Always share credit for a success or accomplishment, even if other people didn't help you. Always make sure that you are letting people know that this was a team effort. This was great. This was effective, and it was effective really because of the team. I played a small role, but the team really deserves all the credit. And that is a characteristic, because what happens is when you do that, people will want to do even more for you as a leader. So as we conclude this, I want you to answer these questions. Why is empathy an important characteristics of leaders with an E-mindset, with the entrepreneurial mindset? I want you to internalize that, because people think empathy is a soft word, but empathy is really the foundation of business success. How does someone with an E-mindset determine the most valuable options? I showed you those circles, and what's the process by which someone with the E-mindset goes through that? Why are decisiveness and confidence important characteristics of leaders with an E-mindset? Why are accountability, resilience, and humility important characteristics of leaders with an E-mindset? So again, these are critical questions, and I want you to internalize so that as you're looking to develop this entrepreneurial mindset and utilize it throughout your coursework, and it applies to virtually all of your courses, remember this. So with that, I want to thank you all for listening to my entrepreneurial mindset lecture. If you have any questions, let me know. But it's been wonderful talking to you, and looking forward to seeing you on the road to success.